Ari Aster's Midsommar flips the horror genre on its head. Instead of darkness and jump scares, the film takes place in bright daylight, surrounded by flowers, smiling faces, and endless sunshine. In this video, I'm going to break down how Midsommar uses mise-en-scène and cinematography to build discomfort, communicate Danny's emotional state, and reveal the horror hiding under all that beauty. The first thing I will be talking about is mise-en-scène. First is the constant daylight. As shown in the background, you can see shots of the bright village and even characters squinting in the light. One of the most unsettling aspects about Midsummer is the endless daylight. Horror usually uses darkness to hide the unknown, but here, the sun exposes everything. There is nowhere to hide, and no way for the audience or Danny to escape. The mise-en-scène turns the environment into a psychological trap. The second element of mise-en-scène that makes Midsummer what it is the costumes and the color. You can see the villagers wearing white clothing and Danny at the beginning in darker colors. The villagers' costumes are all white, clean, and decorated with traditional patterns. At first, this looks peaceful, but the purity of their outfits becomes disturbing once you realize what they're capable of. Danny gradually shifts from dark, muted clothes to lighter colors, symbolizing how she's being absorbed into the community. By the end, when she wears the May Queen flower dress, she's visually and emotionally part of the cult. Third element of mise-en-scène that is used in Midsummer is the ritual layout and symmetry. In the background, you can see the wide shots of rituals, the wide shots of the long table at the feast, and even the placement of bodies during the ceremonies. Asher uses symmetrical arrangements in the festival rituals to show how structured and controlling the Harga community is. Everything is perfectly placed, such as the tables, dancers, and even the sacrifices. The orderliness reflects the cult's rigid worldview. It's beautiful but also cold and inhumane. Next, I will be talking about the cinematography element, such as the distortion and emotional breakdown of Midsommar. First is the camera as Danny's mind. The background can show shots where the camera tilts or rotates, especially when they first arrive in Sweden. The cinematography mirrors Danny's anxiety. Early in the film, the camera often tilts, spins, or flips upside down. This creates the feeling that her world is off balance. When they enter the Harga region, the camera literally turns upside down, signaling that everything familiar is about to be inverted. Secondly, are the wide shots that make the characters look small. In the video, you can see the group that is outdoors and the nature and buildings that are around them that just make them look small. Astor uses extremely wide shots that make characters look tiny in comparison to the landscape. This emphasizes how powerless and out of place they are. Danny, especially, appears swallowed by her surroundings, reflecting her emotional isolation after the death of her family. Third are the hallucinatory visual effects. We can see the flowers basically breathing and the environment pulsating here. The film uses subtle visual distortions like these flowers that basically breathe, or even walls that seem to ripple, or the ground bending. This shows how Danny's emotional state blends with the psychedelic rituals. The cinematography makes the viewer feel what Danny feels, like overwhelmed, confused, and eventually connected to the world around her. Lastly, and my personal favorite scene is the final May Queen shot. This shows Danny smiling in the flower dress. In the end, the close-up on Danny's face as she smiles while the burning temple collapses behind her. This captures the twisted emotional release that she finally experiences. The camera lingers on her expression, making us question whether this is liberation, madness, or even both. Midsummer proves that horror doesn't need shadows or darkness. Through mise-en-scène, like costumes, rituals, and constant daylight, and cinematography that reflects Danny's mental state, Ari Aster creates a slow, beautiful, and emotionally intense form of horror. The film's visuals do more than just support the story. They are the story, guiding us through Danny's journey from grief and isolation to her disturbing sense of belonging.